have allergies. Welcome to Juno Beat. My name's Becca and I'm an Aries Sun, Scorpio Rising, Gemini Moon. Today we're talking about some of the planets. For today's video, we're bringing it back to my guy Stephen Arroyo. I'll leave this book in the description down below. He sort of gave me the inspiration to set this video up in the way that I am. I gave this video a lot of thought as to how we would define the planets, and I decided to do them through the elements for each planet so that we can sort of understand that initial emotional response to these things. Once we get into the houses, I'm sure that we will go back and talk about how these planets are explained through the houses, but for now, since we already have a basic understanding of the elements, I figured that's the easiest way we'll be able to get through them. I mentioned in last week's video something about the inner planets and the outer planets, so I think you guys deserve a little bit of an explanation. There are a couple different schools of thought as to what is an inner planet and what is an outer planet. Some astrologers define an outer planet as the planets farthest away from the sun, and the inner planets as the planets closest to the sun. But we're gonna do it the correct way. For our purposes, the outer planets are the ones that take the longest to go through a full orbit, and the inner planets are the ones that take the shorter amount of time. Some people would call that kind of outer planet a generational planet because some of them take hundreds or 200 years to complete a full orbit. So most people within that lifetime have the same placement. So today we're talking about the inner planets, which consists of Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Jupiter in that order. So we're going to go through these planets from the shortest orbit to the longest orbit, and we're going to start with Mercury. Can you see how red my eye is? I don't know what's going on there, but we're running with it. Mercury takes 88 days to complete its orbit. Its glyph looks like this, and it shows us a person's thought process and their need for contact. It also shows us how we share our intellect with others and also our need for understanding. Mercury in a fire sign can show a person that their thoughts are influenced by their hopes and dreams, and their speech is expressed impulsively and enthusiastically. Mercury in an earth sign shows us a person whose thoughts are influenced by practicality and tradition. Their speech is influenced by persistence and specifics. When Mercury is in an air sign, thoughts become tangible. It can often be hard to put words to these thoughts because they're so real in the mind, but speech then usually comes very objectively and with deep understanding. Mercury in a water sign shows us a person whose thoughts are influenced by emotional needs and whose speech is expressed through sensitivity and intuition. Venus takes 225 years to revolve around the sun. Their glyph looks like this, and it shows us the way that we express our affection and caring. It also feeds our need for closeness and helps us understand love. With Venus in a fire sign, affection is expressed energetically and directly. This person feels love through activities as well as mutual enthusiasm. With Venus in an earth sign, affection is expressed tangibly and physically. They feel love through commitment and through shared responsibility. When Venus is in an air sign, they show affection through intellectual conversation and companionship. They feel love through shared ideas and riveting conversation. When Venus is in a water sign, these people show affection very sympathetically and emotionally. They feel love very sensitively, which can often lead to emotional deep dives. Which, if you've ever experienced one, I'm sure you know exactly what I mean. Mars takes 687 days to revolve around the sun. Their glyph looks like this, and it shows us how we assert ourselves in the world and where we place our physical energy. It can also be related to sexual desires as well as our ego. Mars in a fire sign shows a person who asserts themselves through physical means. This could mean sex, this could also mean hand-to-hand combat, and it could also mean just playing soccer every once in a while. Their physical energy is expressed through constant movement, which is where we get our fidgeters from. Mars in an Earth sign shows us a person who asserts themselves through concrete achievement. Their physical energy is stimulated by hard work and self-discipline. Mars in an air sign shows a person who asserts themselves through their expression of ideas and active communication. They're physically stimulated by mental challenges and social activism. For some reason, I just keep thinking that somebody with Mars in an air sign is a magician. I think I'm watching too many YouTube videos. Mars in a water sign shows a person who asserts themselves with emotional persistence. They're physically stimulated by deep yearnings, intuition, and intense emotions. This is where we get the poets from. Jupiter takes roughly 12 years to revolve around the sun. Their glyph looks like this, and it shows us our inner belief system and confidence, and it also opens up doors for potential opportunities that are found with the connection to the elements. Jupiter in a fire sign shows a person whose confidence is found through enthusiasm and physical activity. Opportunities are presented through taking risks and trying new things. When Jupiter is in an Earth sign, this shows a person whose confidence is achieved through practicality and being able to do things through the senses, because Earth is all about that sort of tangibility, right? An opportunity arises when one can be in tune with nature and can work as hard as possible. When Jupiter is in an air sign, this shows a person whose confidence is achieved through new ideas and improving social interactions. Opportunity is presented through sharing these ideas enthusiastically, as well as collaborating for future goals. Jupiter in a water sign shows a person whose confidence is found through emotional experience and positive expression of the imagination. Opportunities arise through sensitivity and caring for others. And that's it for the inner planets. Thanks for coming along, you guys. I'm excited that we're getting deeper into this whole astrology birth chart reading stuff. Once we do the houses, I'm sure we will talk again about the planets and how they relate to all of the houses. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to sort of organize all of this stuff because there's a lot to learn, which is kind of nice because I'm like never gonna run out of video ideas. I know that I mentioned that there were going to be 2 videos for planets, but upon further consideration, I decided to give Saturn its own video so that we can talk about the Saturn return and I can explain the placements and all that fun stuff. I think it deserves it. But let me know in the comments down below where your planets are placed. Soon we will unlock the special URL to where I get all of my birth charts from, but I'm not sharing yet, because I want you guys to have a better foundation first. I've been getting a few questions as to where to start, like how to start reading birth charts, and start with your own. I mean, you know yourself better than anyone else does. So start looking at your own chart and reading that, and then maybe go to like a best friend, maybe a brother or a sister, and start reading their chart and understanding them a little bit more. And then eventually you'll be able to look at a stranger's birth chart and be able to tell them exactly who they are, which is really cool and exciting. But it's all about the conversation, and it's all about looking at people with more empathy and understanding, and that's why I really like astrology, because it really helps people to empathize with the other people around them that don't have the same mindset as they do. So be kind to each other. Remember to like, subscribe, do one, do both, don't do neither, please. But that's it for today's video. I post every Tuesday, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Mercury in an Earth sign shows a person whose thoughts are expressed. Mars takes 687 days to revolve around the sun. Can you see how red my eye is? I don't care, I don't care. Okay, you know that. I don't care, I don't care. Judy Garland, no one? All right.